Hey everybody, it's Tallara and welcome back to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. On our last episode, we completed Chapter 8, which saw us defend New LA against a siege. We ultimately held out. As you can see, New LA is still standing, but unfortunately the Ganglion got away with that weird prototype skull that we found. But hey, in the end, as long as everyone's safe and sound, then if we had to give up some weird artifact, I'll take it personally. So today I want to do something that we haven't done in the game so far. I tried to do this at the very beginning and ran into some issues, but you'll see all throughout the map there are these little hearts scattered around. These are heart-to-heart events, and they're all scattered around New LA. Each one requires a different time, a different character, and so we're going to take some time today to go around New LA and go to each of these heart-to-heart events. I remember really liking the heart-to-heart events in previous Xenoblade Chronicles games. They really gave you an opportunity to get to know some of the characters, so I'm hoping the heart-to-heart events in Xenoblade Chronicles X will be just as effective. The first one we can access is this one right here. It's a heart-to-heart event with Gwyn. Now, the issue I had when I tried to access heart-to-heart events before was that I wasn't getting the right time. So there's early morning, late morning, afternoon, etc. There's very specific times of day. Now, the one here said afternoon, so hopefully at 1600 hours, aka 4 p.m., Gwyn will be here and good to chat with.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, good to see you, Tallara. I was just talking with an old Pathfinder buddy of mine from basic training. He asked if I wanted to team up with him to set up a data probe in Oblivia. Think I should? Yeah, sounds like a good job for an interceptor. Yeah, I guess it does. The interceptor clears away the indigens so the Pathfinders can set up the probe. It's a classic strategy. But there is one thing that has me worried. None of the blades on this mission have any real experience, and it sounds like we'll be going to a pretty dangerous place. I mean, you know, I could go with your team if you need. Seriously? Oh man, if you came with us, I know we could do it. But I think Lieutenant Irina would be pissed that we didn't ask her for help first. And all the tyrants in Oblivia aren't half as scary as the Lieutenant when she's angry. Besides, I feel like this is something we should be able to manage by ourselves. So I think we'll try it without anyone's help. I really appreciate the offer though. If you ever need me for anything, just say the word. We completed Gwyn's heart-to-heart conquering fear. Okay, that was pretty basic, to be honest with you. They didn't seem to be quite as detailed or intricate as some of the heart-to-heart events we've seen in previous Xenoblade Chronicles games. Essentially just a short conversation, but a way to build affinity and actually clear one of the segments on our map, too. So I think it was well worth it in the end. Our next one is this one right here with Neil. It appears at any time, I guess, and if we fast travel up to Division Drive, we should be right next to it. If all the heart-to-heart events are this quick, we should be able to sort of knock them out without too much trouble. Here's Neil Nail, who is maybe my favorite companion character in the game so far, and according to you guys, a brand new addition to the Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. So that's kind of cool. Let's chat with her and see what's up. Hi you, just the person I was hoping to see. So for my Earth culture research, I commissioned someone to salvage some data from a piece of the Lifehold for me. And in that data, I found an absolutely fascinating concept, a little thing you call a novel. Isn't it just so creative? I mean, fabricated stories, read for entertainment. What kind of mad genius came up with that? Anyway, I thought of reading one for myself, but there's just so much more data than I thought possible. They're all categorized based on something called genre. Say, what genre do you like best? So my personal favorite genre is fantasy, which is apparently not an option here. Our only options to recommend to Neil Nail are sci-fi, thriller, or YA. Honestly, if she's just getting started into reading, maybe a good YA novel could work. You know, how about a Hunger Games, if you will? I've never heard of those. Let's see. According to the data, they're a body of epic poetry about being reborn in another world and given divine powers to thwart villains and build paradise. Reborn in another world? As in reincarnation? What's this about divine powers? Do humans really believe in a god that dispenses superpowers like candy? This is a lot to take in. I don't know I'll be able to understand, but if it's what humans like, well, in any case, thank you for the advice. I can see I've got a long road ahead of me. We completed Neil's heart-to-heart Earthology, and hopefully she'll find herself a good novel now to get sucked into. I don't know if any of you guys watching these videos are big readers. As I mentioned, I'm actually a big fan of fantasy novels. In particular, Brandon Sanderson is my favorite fantasy author. His Cosmere series is absolutely incredible. If anyone's looking for fantasy novels, I can't recommend Brandon Sanderson's works enough. But regardless, let's not get too off topic. Our next heart-to-heart is going to be down in the residential district. We've got one with HB here that appears in the morning. Now, I think HB might actually be in my party right now. I tried to switch up my party a little bit so we could build affinity with some of the characters that we don't normally use. So if that's the case, presumably I need to take HB out of my party. No, wait, he's not even in my party, so we're fine. All we need to do is change time to morning. 10 a.m. should do it. And let's see, HB. Are you just popping in? I don't see you here. Oh, unless he's on this side? Ah, yes, there he is. Pretty sure I probably shouldn't have jumped right into the water purification plant water, but, that's, you know, hindsight is 20/20, if you will. The question is, how do I get out of here? I jumped in and I don't know how to get out. Maybe if I swim over this way. Aha! Alright, now the question is, I guess we're gonna do a little platforming if we want to get over to HB. Don't know who put platforming into my RPG, but here we go. Here's HB. Is that you, Tallara? What brings you to this neck of the woods? As you can see, I've been inspecting the water purification plant. Water is every bit as vital here on Mira as it was back on Earth. Therefore, it must be rigorously supervised. Yeah, are you a mediator? What idiocy is this? Have you lost your wits? I'm a pathfinder through and through, and a quite famous one, I might add. Anyway, HQ is known to be short-handed at the moment. When capable citizens step up to assist with their workload, it benefits all of New LA. Is hammering in data probes a Pathfinder's only duty to New LA? No, the very notion reeks of indolence. If ever a citizen of New LA finds his talents needed, he must answer the call, whenever and wherever it comes. When fellow citizens are in peril, do you not rush to their aid? I mean, true, I suppose your assertion is logically sound. I pride myself on being an excellent judge of character, and I see now how right I was about your command of objective reason and holistic wisdom. I'm honored to have met someone capable of understanding my philosophy. Well, that concludes my inspection of this facility. I have some important business to attend to in the industrial district. I hope we can work together again soon. That was actually a good conversation with HB. We completed a prideful man. Alright, there's actually a ton of heart-to-heart conversations down here in the residential district. The next one coming up is right here in the park. It is with Lao. It appears in the early morning, but it looks like we can't access it unless we have a pet dog. That is such an interesting and random requirement. Now, we only have a pet cat, so we're going to have to hold off on this heart-to-heart event until we can adopt a dog. What we can do, though, is go speak to Fog up here. This will appear in the afternoon, and it actually might be afternoon by the time we get up there, because it is creeping towards noon here now. The thing about a lot of the characters is I've obviously done my best to equip them with the best equipment I can find, and a lot of times that involves putting a helmet on them. So a lot of these conversations we're sort of having with like blank faces because they're wearing a helmet. Now it looks like Fog is actually underneath here, I think. Let's see if this is right. Whoa! Yeah, thank God there's no fall damage, but here we are. He's down in sort of like the harbor area. I actually didn't even realize this was down here. I've never been to the lower levels of New LA before. This is kind of cool, a different perspective. Alright, speak of the devil, it just passed noon, so Fog is here. Oh, hello, Tallara. You're not gonna say anything else, or what are you doing there, Fog? No, still nothing? So, I'm thinking about something. This looks like water, but it's actually a gel designed to cushion impacts. I've heard that when it hardens, it becomes like those giant crystals that surround the outer walls of New LA. I'm not sure I believe that. There's a rumor that you could inject a coagulating agent into it that would cause it to instantly harden. I was just internally debating whether or not I should test that theory out. Hang on, what? You want to do that to all the water here? You might get in trouble if this all solidifies and hardens. Yes, that's a fair point. I should probably hold off. After all, I've slipped and fallen from the residential district and landed in this gel more than once. The gel cushioned my fall, preventing any injuries, but if it had been crystallized, I could have broken a leg, or even two. I've made up my mind. I'll leave the gel alone. Thankfully, you were here to help me reach the correct decision. Okay, we completed Fogg's heart-to-heart, the old fishing hole. Very interesting to think this isn't actually water. It looks like water, it seems to move like water, but is a weird sort of gel, apparently. Very interesting. So I guess this is not used as like a drinking source or anything. The more you know. Alright, next up on our list is right over here. We've got a heart-to-heart with Lynn. That happens at night. So we'll fast travel out to over to the Outfitter's hangar. And then we'll change the time of day to night. So there is a difference in nights. There's late night, evening, but we need just regular night. So that should do it. And then I think the heart-to-heart is actually down inside the hangar. Might be outside, I'm not sure. Let's see. There she is. Nope, Lynn's here. Perfect.
What's up?
Oh, hey, Tallara, you here to test some sort of new weapon? I was actually just wondering if I could upgrade the flight module's intake and exhaust systems a bit. I had a chance to talk it over with a mechanic from one of the arms manufacturers, you know? And man, the people working behind the scenes to develop state-of-the-art weapons sure do have a lot of interesting things to say. You wouldn't believe how rapidly technology is advancing here in New LA while we're out on deployment. You know, Lynn, would you prefer if you were a full-time mechanic? Well, I guess I do get a teensy bit jealous of people who get to work with new technologies like that. But our work as Blades is equally important for weapons development, right? Like, remember when we saw that Orivis flying through the sky during a mission? I saw the way it stayed aloft while gliding, and that gave me the idea for a new tail assembly. The whole thing kind of blew me away. It made me glad I joined Blade, that's for sure. But I know you asked because you worry about me, and I appreciate it, Tallara. I wouldn't be able to continue inventing things the way I do if I didn't have you and Elma watching out for me all the time. It's all due to your hard work, Lynn. Aw, Tallara, you're so sweet. You've always been like a mother to me, you know. Wait, what? I am not old enough to have a 13-year-old daughter. You can't use the words older sister? Oh, Lynn, just when I thought we were having a nice conversation, you had to go and call me old. I'm gonna keep working my butt off to invent cool stuff that'll help all of us, okay? And yeah, I know that booster engine I was testing kind of exploded, but I'm not about to give up. In fact, I'd be honored if you joined me as my co-test pilot. What do you say? Sure, we'll nod and smile through fear-clenched teeth. Really? That's great. There's so many things I want to work on, and Doug can't possibly handle them all. Now that I've got you to help me test, I can double down on making all those prototypes I've been itching to make. Thank you so much. We completed Lynn's heart-to-heart flight time. It's a nice conversation if we ignore the fact that she thinks I'm old enough to be her mother. Anywho, moving on, we've got two heart-to-heart events over here in the Industrial District, one with Elma and one with Irina. The one with Irina we can access at night, which it is currently, so we'll do that one first. Let's just fast travel over to cut down on travel time, and then the heart-to-heart event we're looking for should be right here on the bridge. Yep, there she is, Irina.
You okay?
The more I hear about this scumbag, the more I want to punch him. Men like that need their asses kicked so they can remember their proper place. Oh, hey, Tallara. Ah, perfect timing. We were just having some emergency girl talk. You want to get in on this? After all, outside of your team with the Colonel, there aren't all that many women in Blade. It's rare that we get a chance to talk without having to hold back because some dumb guy is hanging around. I find that very ironic, seeing as I've got 3 guys right now in my party, but honestly, Irina, I'd love some girl talk. What is the tea? Spill it. I know, right? Next time we'll have to do this at a bar and talk all night long. Okay, so our girlfriend here, well, one of our fellow Blades has been putting the moves on her big time. But then she found out he's been hitting on her friends, too. He even asked me out for drinks a few times. She thought he really liked her, but it turns out he's just after every girl with a pulse. What a lowlife, right? Ugh. Yeah, such behavior is despicable. I know, right? You better watch out for creeps like that yourself. You're a lot cuter than I am, so I bet they're all over you like a cheap suit. That is not true, Irina. You are just as cute as me, if not cuter. What are you talking about? That's crazy. Have you been drinking on the job or something? You're not even making sense right now. Anyway, if a guy steps out of line, you tell me, alright? I'll show him what we interceptors do to unruly beasts. I love Irina. That was great. Good to know we have a wing woman if we ever need it. We completed Irina's heart-to-heart man-eater. It's very aptly named. Not only are we getting these opportunities to interact with our companions, but it's really helping out our survey rate of the city too, which is nice. I love killing two birds with one stone. Now, the next one here is actually with Elma, but this one appears in the afternoon, so we're gonna have to change time yet again. A lot of time changes are required here to witness all of these heart-to-heart events. Luckily, it's easy enough to change the time of day, though, so now we just need to find...
Listen.
Elma, there she is. Hello. Expanding the effective area of the deflector shields will require optimizing our energy output by at least 8%. The only way to accomplish that is by multiplexing our energy drivers. Alright, I'll prepare a couple of design proposals. You can bring them to the mechanical team and see which they think is the most workable. Oh, hello there, Tallara. Sorry about that. I was wrapped up in a conversation about technical issues with New LA's defenses, which you heard. Anyway, I didn't even notice you were there. It's okay. I'm honestly just admiring your many talents at this point, Elma. That? Oh, it's nothing. I did a little bit of mechanical engineering work years ago, but it hardly qualifies as one of many talents. Honestly, outside of engineering, combat is my only noteworthy talent. I can't even cook like Lynn. So I'm determined to see what few talents I do have put to the best possible use for the people of NLA. I hope you too can avoid being constrained by the constant demands of Blade, and can put your other talents to use now and then for the good of New LA. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to lead such a life. A jack of all trades, if you will. I hate being penned into one box. I'm glad you understand. If everyone used their unique talents to help everyone else out, I know we'd be able to survive our current travels. And beyond that, we'd be better positioned to build a bright future for all of us here in New LA. Then we Blades could truly say that we're building a legacy. We completed Elma's Heart-to-Heart, the Techie, which increases our industrial district survey rate even more. All right, we're really burning through these heart-to-heart events here. I think, whoa, even more have appeared, actually. Interesting. So we're already unlocking, like, level 2 heart-to-hearts. A lot of the level 2 heart-to-hearts do require a certain pet, so that's interesting and something to keep in mind. But before we get down to those, let's go through some of these ones here. I can't do Lynn level 2 yet. We can do Yelves. We can do Niels, we can do Els, and we can do Bozes. Alright, let's get moving. Alright, here's Neil.
Lovely day.
Hey, how's it going? Up for a chat? NLA sure is a hive of activity. I can't remember the last time I was in such a bustling place, or when I last talked to a member of another race, for that matter. Tell me a bit more about your past travels, Neil. Well, as I told you before, I am an archaeologist of cosmic civilizations. I've traveled across many light years and visited many star systems. But since my work focuses on civilizations that are, well, dead, I never really got the chance to speak to many locals. And tomb-raiding space pirates aren't exactly the most skilled conversationalists. Speaking of tomb raiding, ruins would sometimes still be powered. And then you'd trip their security measures. Traps designed to deter robbers, autonomous defenses. I've had my share of brushes with death. Oh, and one time my ship broke down and I had to spend a few months on a deserted planet bushwhacking. Compared to all that, this is basically paradise. I really owe you guys my thanks. You know, if you want, I could give you a tour of NLA. Oh, are you trying to be a gentle human? It would feel wrong to refuse, though. We are friends, after all. You know what? Go on, then. I'll take you up on that offer. I'm sure you'll be an excellent tour guide. Neil is such a cool character. Like, the thought of her travels throughout the galaxy, investigating all these ancient civilizations is just insanely cool. Looks like we actually just got max affinity with Neil. We're literally besties, so I kind of love that. And over here, we've got a heart-to-heart with Yelv that'll only appear at late night. Late night. 3 a.m. is considered late night. And, oh, Yelv is in my party, that's why. I was like, You know, at this point, it probably makes sense if we just remove everybody from our party so we don't have any issues like this as we're going around NLA looking for heart-to-heart events.
You gonna let me rest or what?
You look as bored as I feel, Pard. I never know what to do with myself when I'm not on a damn job. How do you spend your days off? We've got 3 options: working, slacking, or dating. I mean, I love relaxing. Yeah, I love curling up with a good book or a good video game, watching a TV show, so look, on days off, I never leave the barracks. Talk about a waste of a vacation. Hey, that's right, you're living over there with Elma and Lynn. I bet they're fun to be around, huh? Nothing wrong with spending a quiet day at home when you're with friends or family. I certainly don't regret that aimless time I spent with, well, you know who. No, I don't know who. Who did you spend your time with? Anyway, I got nothing but free time on my hands today. I'm so bored I'm pissing my day away with this bunch of deadbeats. You know, we could go to the diner if you wanted? That sounds about 1,000,000 times more fun than what I'm doing right now. Unfortunately, Eleonora told me I can't drink like I used to no more. She says my reclaimer work starts to suffer when I'm hungover. Whatever. I've already had 10 drinks today, though. What? 10 drinks? Jeez Louise, Yelv. Yeah, maybe you should cut back on the drinking a little bit. That is a lot. Thanks for the invite. Best thing that's happened to me all day. We'll do it some other time, yeah? Okay, we completed Yelv's heart-to-heart off-duty. 10 drinks in one day. Holy moly, Yelv. I think you might have a problem. Okay, we can't do that one. We can do this one down here, though, with Bose. We just have to change the time to morning. I'm really enjoying going around to all of these heart-to-heart events. It really is giving us an opportunity to interact with these characters in a less formal manner. Just having conversations with them, learning more about them. It's nice, actually. And of course, it also helps build our affinity, and we get the opportunity to do a little bit of NLA segment recon. Speaking of, there's some alien wreckage over here that we can harvest. Very nice. And then right here is the heart-to-heart event with Bose.
Never cease training.
Ah, Tallara, what wonderful timing. I was just trying to teach these baby blades the mindset they'll need to survive in the field. But they don't seem to truly grasp what I'm saying. They may not yet have enough real-world experience. Perhaps you, the victor of countless battles, could teach them the key to your survival in a way they might more easily understand. Honestly, discretion is a good part of valor. Pick your battles. So you're saying that they should consider every option carefully, then make the choice that best ensures their survival? So that is the secret to your longevity. Not savagery, but resourcefulness. Not haste, but thoughtfulness. I must admit that your cool and collected approach to battle is somewhat alien to me, but no one wants to see these disciples return with their lives more than I. I hope your words ring out in their hearts as they set foot on their first battlefield. I could tell you had a gift for educating and inspiring others, and I see now how right my intuition was. What say you, Tallara? Will you help me forge these lumps of soft metal into tempered steel blades? For while I'm honored to have been asked to serve as their guide, my harrier duties suffer in the meantime. I could use a second fount of wisdom to aid me. I was hesitating about this job, but would ask you to please consider my proposal. Think of the exceptional blades you could help them become. As much as I would love to shout a Zen Buddhist Katsu to rebuke Bose, I think I will just accept his request with a solemn nod of the head. I'm pleased to hear it. In that case, I must ask you to begin an intensive study of the sacred sutras, as my instruction is based on the Buddha's wisdom. If you believe that all the Buddha has to teach is the Noble Eightfold Path, you will be pleasantly surprised. Many of his teachings are relevant to a warrior's life on the battlefield. I shall begin preparing traits of the most essential texts and have them shipped to your room immediately. Read and memorize each before starting the next. How I look forward to lengthy discussions of the Tripitaka during your study breaks. Oh god. What did we just sign ourselves up for? I was down to help educate some young blades. Crates of texts that I need to memorize? Yeah, I don't know about this, Bose. We completed his heart-to-heart. Preacher man. What an interesting fellow. Definitely different worldviews than me and different religious beliefs, but an interesting guy all the same. Now, the last heart-to-heart event that I want to do today is over here on the eastern side of the commercial district. There's actually some alien wreckage here. I guess after the battle on NLA, there's lots of treasure for us to find around the city, if you will. It's a bonus of the city being under siege. Alright, so there's an event here with L that will only appear in the afternoon. So one more time change. And then let's go speak with L. I think that's everybody then. I think we've spoken to every single party member here. Pretty close to it anyway.
Fancy of you to meet us here.
Ah, our dear friend Tallara, you've come at a most fortuitous moment. This good Manon fellow intends to buy one of our many fine creations. However, he wishes to pay us not in credits, but in pizza. We have stressed repeatedly that we rarely eat pizza, but he remains quite adamant. We are reminded of your human aphorism that a nod is as good as a drink with a blind horse. How true! It matters not how good this frozen pizza is. A barter economy is not a viable model. I mean, you could accept the pizza and then sell the pizza to other Manon. From what I heard, the Manon love pizza. An intriguing proposition. That possibility had not occurred to us. We are reminded of the time we sold a small rock found in Noctilum to a superstitious woman for 3,000 credits. Very well, we shall sell the pizza at an elevated price to other Manon who have bought into the pizza fad. But hold on a moment. Surely the customer that overpays for the pizza would come to fiercely regret being taken advantage of and later spurn our business. We mustn't sacrifice potential long-term profits for a small short-term gain. No, instead of immediately reselling these frozen pizzas at a markup, we should find a way to use our talents to increase their value, then resell them at an appropriate price. In other words, we will accept pizzas in lieu of credits from the Manon, upgrade said stock of pizzas, and then sell them to different Manon customers. This could be the beginning of a beautiful new business model. But wait, that would be an endless loop of pizza, one that would leave us without money for the rest of our days. Dear us, whatever are we to do? Sounds like you've got yourself into quite a pickle there, El. We completed his heart-to-heart business acumen, and we'll leave him to ponder if he will accept payment in pizza. For now, though, I think that's all the heart-to-heart events that I wanted to do today, so how about we get into some quests next? I want to work through some of these affinity missions, and I noticed there's one right over here. It's an affinity mission called Bottoms Up. The quest must be accepted at nighttime, and Fog is a restricted character. It's actually at the Repenta Diner, which we've heard lots of things about, so let's fast travel over there. We're also going to need to assemble a party again, because I had taken everyone out of my party for those heart-to-heart events. As I mentioned before, I was trying out a bit of a new party, trying to get some new faces in so we could upgrade their affinity. So let's put in HB, Yelv, and Bose. All of those are really close to affinity level 2, so hopefully if we do this mission with them, that'll push them over the edge. And now, we're outside the diner, bar and grill, 24 hours. Looks like a popular place. And our affinity mission is right here at the front door of the establishment. Oh right, we can't accept it until nighttime, so we gotta change the time of day yet again. We've done this a lot today. 23:13 should do it. And now, can we go inside the diner? Yes. Here we go.
Guess I'm out of options.
Are you alright?
Hey! Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wouldn't be here if you weren't, right? Perfect. Let's drink. I'm buying.
Sure. Why not? It's 11 p.m., it's rainy, I'm off duty. Let's do it.
That's what I wanted to hear. Let's keep this party going till dawn.
Not sure who this random man is, but I'm never gonna say no to a free drink.
Oh man, good times, the best. I didn't think we'd actually go till dawn. Right then. You ready for the main event?
What's up next? I mean, we already said yes and apparently literally drank all night long. We may as well keep this going.
You gotta ask? Cracking indigent skulls, of course. What else would an interceptor do? Anyway, guess I never introduced myself. The name's Fry. The rest of the interceptors call me the Killer Ostrich.
Huh?
Worst nickname ever, right?
Certainly an interesting nickname.
I'm always taking the dangerous jobs nobody else will touch with a 10-foot pole. Hence the nickname. Well, the killer part, anyway. I take it as a compliment. But it means I gotta nick some nasties today if I want to keep my rep. Care to join me? Seeing as we're old pals and all now?
I mean, hey, I stayed up all night drinking with you. I feel like at this point, the only thing I can do is repay you and help you with whatever you need.
Good energy. I like you. Let's you and me knock this baby out of the park. Today's mission is critter cleanup out in Silvalum. There's a lot of them, though. It'd be a hassle to explain it all, so just check your comm device later, okay? We'll take them out in the order they're listed.
Okay. Out of pity for an individual named Fry, we decided to take on an interceptor task. Your goal is to defeat the enemy reported to be patrolling parts of Silvalum. I don't know how well this is going to go considering I've been up all night drinking, but we'll try our best. We need to defeat 2 Sapphire Forfexes in Silvalum's Seabird's Beak area. All right, so, oh cool, so Fry is actually a new party member of ours then. Well, let's add him in. Fry, there he is. He's got a pretty cool scar over his right eye. Nice, I love meeting new companions. Alrighty, so now we will fast travel out to our objective, which should be all the way up here. Seabird's Beak, just below Silvalum proper. Now, this is only a level 21 recommended level mission, but Silvalum is a pretty high level area, so I'm actually surprised that the mission is categorized so low. I guess the monsters outside Silvalum aren't as high level as the monsters inside. You can see here, that guy there is only level 12, that guy there is only a level 11, so maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Regardless, me and my new drinking buddy Fry can now work off our drinks from last night. It's always nice to make a new friend. Seems like a nice enough guy.
Another dawn to dusk workday? Sounds like fun to me.
I like that you always see it that way.
We have to take them on.
Alright, that's one down. We had to take down 2, right? I believe, for the quest.
Decoy round.
You're freaking out. Tell them the gunfire. You won't. Close in and seal the deal.
Close quarters?
Yes.
There we go.
Hey, well then. That
Okay.
was passable.
What's next? Oh, there's even more things we need to take out. Up next, we need to take out Creek
Won't
Unifulge.
stop us.
Right. Fry did mention that this was sort of a multi-segmented mission, and I guess it makes sense then that we need to hunt various different monsters to clear out this area. Creek Unifulge is up next. That's 1 down. We need to take down 3 total, apparently, so here's another one.
We have to take them on. Start with melee.
Close quarters? Spiral.
They never stood a
2 down.
Well then. That was passable.
Now we just need 1 more, which is right up here. This is such an interesting area. Seabird's Beak.
You won't stop us.
I'm going to go valedictorian on you.
Who said that? HB, I think? I'm gonna go valedictorian on you. Interesting, but alright. If that's what you aspire to be in battle, a valedictorian, then who am I to stop you?
Well then. That was
Alright, so that's done. Now, what's up next? There's something else for us to hunt. Let's take a closer look. Next, we need to defeat 3 strange Lyciers in Sylvalum's Needle Rock Sand Seas. We gotta go further up into Sylvalum now. If we fast travel to FN Site 405, that should bring us right next to our next target. Let's see here. The music is beautiful as we load in, and whoa! Hello! Came in next to a real big guy. Now, those are the things we need to take out, but do you see that big thing in the middle? Is that a monster? I'm really worried that if we start attacking those birds, whatever this big thing is gonna attack us right back. Is there any other ones? Yeah, we can attack these ones over here instead. I just feel like this is a better play. Maybe that thing over there is just like a rock formation, but I've just got a bad feeling it's gonna come to life. And all of a sudden, you know, we've got some giant monster on our hands, so... Better safe than sorry, I think. Let's take down these birdies over here. They do like to honk and squawk a whole lot. They're basically like giant geese. Honk. Honk, honk, honk.
Close quarters. Arcing home. Destroyed. Attack at range.
Side slash.
Superior decoy round. Final play.
Okay, one more.
Target destroyed. Now topple them with some
Side slash. Back slash.
Whoa. Did he just flashbang us?
Close in and seal the deal.
for me.
There we go, nice. All the big geese have been taken out, and believe it or not, we're still not done. What is up next? This is quite the extermination mission we signed up for. Next up is 2 white Progan back at the Seabird's Beak, so... actually, I was gonna fast travel there, but I think if we just run down the pass here, it should be just on the other side. Gives us an opportunity to do a little bit of sightseeing. Sylvalum is, of course, a very interesting land. A place we haven't explored a whole ton of yet. We've still definitely got a lot more exploring of this zone to do, but we've seen enough to know that this is a strange place, full of strange monsters. Speaking of strange, here's our target, the white Progan. I don't even know how to describe these things. They're like horse, unicorn, fish, deer? Quite an interesting combination of things. That's about all I can say confidently.
Superior decoy round. See how I stack up the hits? Move in for the kill.
May as well use our overdrive here. Holy crap! That was an insane amount of damage. We took those 2 things out in like 3 seconds. That was so much damage that it like shocked me. I was like, what do you mean the battle's over? Wow, that was an insane overdrive. Okay. Believe it or not though, still not done with this extermination mission. Up next, we've got to take down a Gaff Pugolith, which is right here. Do we only need to take out 1, I wonder?
Game on.
Guess we'll find out. Now this is some sort of like mech. I'm wondering if this is a ganglion weapon. I can't imagine a mech just being found naturally in the environment. So you'd have to think it's maybe a servant of one of the other alien races. Most likely the ganglion who, you know, hate us. Not sure why it's out here all on its lonesome, but hey, we'll take it.
Now topple them with some gunfire. Arcing home.
Nice. Okay, now I think we're done with extermination. At least for now.
Well, that takes care of that. Today was easy street. Didn't know I was in the company of a master.
Do you usually take on these types of missions alone, Fry?
Nah, I try to work with others when I can. Of course, not many people are eager to join me on the sorts of missions I take. So sometimes I'll just handle them myself. But you? I'd work with you again any day. No question.
Well, I mean, I've got to agree with you, Fry. I think we make a good team. Even after staying out all night drinking, we managed to take down all these monsters. So that goes to show teamwork makes the dream work.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm happy to help out with your missions, too. Anytime you see me hanging around the diner, hit me up.
Nice. Well, that was easy. Mission complete. Despite having spent the night drinking, we were able to finish the mission. Fry seems extremely grateful and has expressed interest in working with us again. So, a new character can now join our party. Everyone meet Fry. Fry can often be found at the local diner, knocking back an off-duty drink. On the clock, however, he undertakes missions that most operatives bend over backwards to avoid. This daring has earned him the unusual nickname of Killer Ostrich. Unusual nickname indeed. Alright, so there we go. That's another affinity mission complete. And our affinity with some of our teammates has also gone up. You can see HB and Bose both now have 2 hearts of affinity with us, which is awesome. Alrighty, I always love to meet new companions, and if we actually go to our active members here, you can see we've only got 4 now that we haven't yet met. So let's head back to New LA and see what other missions we can pick up. Okay, so the next Affinity mission that I want to do is here in the hangar area. There's Affinity mission tucked over next to these guys. I'm not sure what they're doing. Are they fighting? Anyway, we're not going to look too closely at whatever's happening there. The Affinity mission here is called My Dream. It has no requirements, a recommended level of 22, and its primary destination is Noctilum. So let's accept it and find out more about someone's dream.
Oh, look, the fun police. Here to arrest me, fun police?
Save it, murderess. Look, if these lunks want to fight, it's their call. But goading them on is tacky.
Goading? Who's goading? I just mentioned that I'd take the strongest one along on the next mission.
Charming.
Hey, more charming than you, at least. Though you seem to be doing all right today. Especially considering the intriguing new friend you have there.
Okay, first of all, is this person's real name Murderess? Like, is that on her birth certificate? Her parents were like, you know what we should call our brand new baby? Murderess? Because if it is, that's concerning. If it's not, honestly, still concerning. Why would you want that as a nickname? It looks like this affinity mission might have something to do with Irina and Murderess. As much as I would like to say it's very nice to meet her, actually, yeah, I guess we will say, because I don't like this option, I don't like this option, so let's just be cordial and say, hello, Murderess, it is very nice to meet you.
And so polite. What a catch. What say you dump Miss Sunshine here and come with me?
Hands off, Harpy. We're a team.
Oh, fine, I'll join your team. Are you happy now?
What?
Oh, don't make that face, Irina. You know I love you. Sure, we were born into 2 very different worlds, but in the end, we grew up in the same one. We can at least pretend to be nice, no?
Easy for you to say. You shot me in the back on our last mission.
What can I say? It seemed like I could get 2 birds with 1 stone.
You're terrible.
Terribly glad to be teammates again, right?
Yep, this lady certainly seems like an interesting character. Did she actually shoot Irina in the back on their last mission? Like that's not a metaphor? Because if so, I'm not taking along anyone who's shooting anybody in the back. I'm sorry, Murderess. I might have to decline here.
Yes, thank you. Good call. Great call. How is anyone supposed to trust somebody who calls herself Murderess? Sure, she's all smiles and sunshine now, but you won't believe what she's capable of.
Didn't Mommy teach you to keep your mouth shut if you didn't have anything nice to say?
I didn't have a mother, Murderess, and you know it.
Ugh, so serious. Anyway, let's hope it doesn't affect the mission. We should get going. We're on resource gathering duty, fueling humanity's tomorrow today. Am I right?
Didn't you hear? We said no. You're on your own.
Right. Except I already signed you both up to help, so yeah.
You little... Why am I not surprised? Fine. One mission with the little rich girl. But then we're done.
Okay. We took on a new job with Irina's acquaintance, the Murderess. And with a name like that, what could possibly go wrong? We need to investigate the white whale debris in Noctilum's middle hush flood. It looks to me like Murderess is going to join our party, so let's take out HB and Bose. We'll add in Irina and our brand new companion, Murderess. Alright, let's head out, team. Alright, here we are in Noctilum. It's a beautiful day here in this forest, actually. God knows everything here still wants to kill us, but that's the Noctilum special, am I right? At least the sun is shining. It's a very clear day. And here we are in what's called the Middle Hush Flood. We got some bugs here, and we got a giant over there, level 54. But hopefully we won't have to deal with him at all, and we can instead just approach the white whale debris, which appears to be nestled right here next to this rock formation. There it is.
Don't move.
Are you serious? We're doing this again? You're gonna shoot Irina in the back again? Yo, what is happening? Murderess, are you betraying us again?
So observant. What gave it away? I knew you were a sharp one. See, I'm allergic to sharing, so I'm afraid the reward for this job is mine.
I can't believe you're doing this.
Hey, I could have shot you in the back. I mean, again.
Wow. She's even got lackeys.
Who are they?
I told you I plan to use the winners of that fight on my next job.
We were the job? This is low, Murderess, even for you.
Whatever it takes to make my dream come to fruition, sister.
You're still chasing that?
Hell yes. Now, since we're all acquainted, you have a choice to make. Give up your claim to the reward money, or we break your knees.
Wow, this woman is really living up to her reputation and her name, isn't she? We are absolutely not going to cede here. We do not back down to bullies. Murderess, if you want my reward, then you can try to take it, but I would be worried about your knees, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I knew I should have shot you in the back.
You probably should have, because we're gonna make this hurt.
Right. So, hey, you guys handle this, all right? I'm headed back.
Wow.
Make sure you grab the stuff when you're done.
She's not even gonna stay and fight. This woman is despicable.
You just signed your death warrant.
Yeah, screw these guys. We're fighting. We're down a party member now, but it's fine.
Here they come.
Let's take them down no matter what. We've talked about this before in some of the comments on the video, but it is quite interesting the variety of companions you have in this game. Some of them are straight up despicable. They are not all heroes that you recruit in Xenoblade Chronicles X, and it certainly leads to some interesting moments like this. Presumably, I mean, a Murderess is still going to be a companion after this is all said and done, because she's on the party select screen. How are we ever going to trust her or work with her ever again? It seems crazy to even consider it, but that's the interesting thing about Xenoblade Chronicles X. Not all the companions that you team up with are good people. And you need to sort of come to terms with that while also realizing that you need as many resources as you can to save the human race. Quite interesting, but I think Murderous takes the cake. We've had some real a-holes in our company throughout our journey so far. But none of them have been as bad to attack us, try to kill us, and steal our stuff. Like, this is the lowest of the low. If anything, Murderous is making some of our least likable companions look like the nicest guys around. So they should shout out to Murderous. I don't know if anyone gets any worse than her. Regardless, looks like her lackeys aren't going to have a chance of taking us down, even though they do have a skill. Honestly, that's embarrassing. Down they go.
Wasn't sure we had that one. I'd love to find the Murderess and rearrange her face, but we'd better get back and report this.
Welcome back. I'm so relieved you completed that resource collection assignment.
Huh? Sorry, what?
You were working with the Murderess on a mission, right?
Kind of.
Well, she just came by and picked up the reward without delivering the goods. She said you'd bring them by. Gave her word on it. I told her that was against regulations, but you know how she is. Anyway, I've been sweating bullets, worried that you might not show.
Wow. Murderous gets the reward in the end, even though we had to do all the hard work. Well, here's what you're waiting for. A prototype electromagnetic wave bombardment type plant created on the White Whale. It can grow foodstuffs with no soil or water using only faint sunlight. Honestly, that's really impressive.
I will strangle her scrawny little...
Pardon?
Nothing. She got us good this time. Us and those idiots she recruited. Next time, let's do a real mission, all right? One with standards.
Sounds good, Irina.
One that has nothing to do with that little princess.
Yeah, that's definitely my first and last time working with Murderous. We confronted the Murderess and had to beat back the attacks of her followers. What a jerk. I love how that's literally in the quest complete text. What a jerk. I feel like jerk is too kind of a word to use for her, honestly. I could think of some other ones I would use to describe Murderous, but there you have it. We reported to Eleonora that the mission is complete.
Oh, right. She left a message with it, too.
Oh.
I bet. She just can't resist rubbing my face in it.
It's not for you, Irina. It's for your friend. Stop by anytime. I'm always game for another adventure. Then she asked me to wink, but I don't think so.
You just got yourself the world's worst fan.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, there you have it. We have unlocked a new party member. Why I would want to use her in my party, really not sure, but anywho, Murderous has joined the ranks. The Murderous's remarkable skills are contrasted by a mysterious focus on money that leads her to betray others without a second thought. Such a reputation means that no operative wants to team up with her if they can help it, and as such, her true ambitions remain unclear. Well, there you have it. That's another new party member met. We've met 2 new people today, as well as went on a big tour of NLA with all of our affinity conversations. So we'll call it a day here. Obviously, we've still got lots left to do. You just look at my mini-map and you can see how many affinity missions we have left. There are some that we need to do as a requirement for us starting Chapter 9 as well. So we need to check in on what those are. But the long and short of it is we still have some more side missions to go before we continue on with the main story. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I will see you guys back here again soon as we continue the adventure.